If I get close, I apologize. It's because it's with my laptop. Okay, just tell me who you are and who you're with.
Staff Sergeant Ashworth. I'm with the Quincy Recruiting Station.
Awesome.
I'm Sergeant First Class William Linder with the United States Army in the same recruiting center as Sergeant Ashworth.
Okay.
I'm Glenn Myers. I'm Commandant of the Gem City 790 Detachment of the Marine Corps League.
Okay.
I'm Steve Kane, with the same Marine Corps League detachment.
All right. Gentlemen, we're at the Adams County Fair, and we're just basically letting people know you're out here, letting them know what you're doing and why you're out here. And I know on one side we have the Marine Corps League, and the other side we have the Army recruitings. So tell us what you're looking for when it comes to performance, what you're looking for when it comes to people when they're joining the Army. Why would they want to join the Army? What exactly are you looking for? Tell them what is going to inspire them and motivate them to come out here, talk with you, and get in good with you, and why do they need to talk with you? We'll just start with one at a time. Whoever wants to go first, just let me know. Okay.
So basically what we're looking for is anybody over at the age of 17 to, 35 now. 17 to 35, you got to be physically fit. If you're not there, it doesn't matter. You don't really have to be. We'll get you there. You have to be medically qualified and lawfully qualified. So if you have a whole bunch of law issues, we can work with some, but not all. Why you would want to do it, I would say basically to set you up for your future. A lot of people don't take into consideration that a lot of jobs best in the military as a whole, but especially in the Army, correlate over to a lot of the outside jobs, civilian jobs. Police officers are a big one. We have military police, as well as a lot of jobs in the Army itself actually correlates over to police officers. So it's a big setup for your career, as well as what everybody knows about the college benefits. Pay 100% of college for 36 academic months with the GI Bill. So it's an awesome start, especially if you're young, looking to jumpstart your career and trying to stay out of debt.
Okay. If it's okay with you, you don't have to answer any question you don't want to, but if you mind, I'm going to ask a quick question, okay? How long have you been in the Army?
I've been in the Army. I just hit 10 years back in May. So
And why did you join the Army? What was your motivation for joining the Army?
I joined the Army because I have a very big family tradition in the military. I'm actually the first person that went Army, so it was just something that the Army guy was the only one that came to my school, and I decided, hey, the Army looks like a cool path, the guy was pretty cool, and we're all pretty cool ourselves. So it's just something that I did it. I did a 3-year contract, and then I realized that the Army took care of me, and I plan on going my full 20.
As far as you, whatever you want to add, then tell us how long you've been in, what your rank is. And
like Sergeant Ashworth said, the college option is really awesome because if you think about it, you can actually be in the Army less time than you are in college. You can sign up for 3 years and have 4 years of college 100% paid for. But outside of that, you got an opportunity to do things that you'll never get to do before. Like doctors that can say, hey, when I was 18 years old, I shot a tank. How many people can
there goes
say,
a tank.
Yeah, I shot a tank. So, it's opportunities. How many people can say they're an accountant and jump out of airplanes and get paid to jump out of an airplane? How many people can work as a doctor and travel as part of their job to Korea for a year, Japan for a year, and different places like that? So it's things that you can never do in a normal, regular job here in Quincy. It gives you that opportunity to just get away from Quincy for 4 years and come right back home, or 3 years, whatever it may be. Now, why did I join? I got 2 reasons I joined. One is a family tradition, and because Dad saw it as a family tradition, I was 18 years old with a 1.83 GPA. It was time for me to get out the house and grow up. I currently have a 3.6 GPA at college. So without that structure and that discipline in the Army, I wouldn't be doing that well in college. But I got 18 years in. I'm less than 2 years away from my retirement. I don't think I look that old, but it is what it is. I'm happy. I've been recruiting for 11 years. It's been a great life. I got to see a lot of people grow up, mature, have families, have their college paid for, and they're back on the streets of wherever they came from. So it's a great opportunity.
Before I get over to the Marine Corps, have you guys ever worked with other branches of the service before?
We work with all the other branches because we all have different requirements. For example, the Marines are stricter on tattoos. So if somebody has a certain tattoo, they'll send them over to us. Well, we'll have a different condition that, you know, a kid can't have, say, medically or morally, or, you know, just some kind of excitement that they want. We'll send them over to the Marine Corps for maybe the uniform they think is prettier or whatever. Or they just that, hey, run through the wall type mentality that the Marine Corps brings to it. So we all have our different things. Some people just want to be on a ship for 3 years. You know, we have boats, but we're not on the ocean that often. So it's different things like that.
Go back over to you real quick. Now, the commercials on TV. How accurate are they, and how dedicated and motivated does a person have to be to actually do what the commercials say? Because the military is very big, and there's lots of different MOSs, lots of different training. And say somebody joins because they saw a commercial, and they see guys hitting the beachhead, or they see guys jumping out of parachutes, you know. They see airborne, they see rangers and everything else. And is it not true that everybody has that chance after boot camp, given that all their record's good, but do they not have a chance? In other words, it's open to everybody as long as you got the motivation to do it.
It absolutely is. A lot of times, especially depending on what you can score on your ASVAB, which it's basically broken up into math and English, and it would be something you'd have to come discuss with us and everything. It's the aptitude-wise of joining the actual military itself. Now, if you can score high enough, the Army can actually guarantee those types of different options in your actual initial contract, especially airborne. We have Ranger contracts, and if you're over the age of 21, or if you're close to the age of 21, we could possibly put you into those special forces types situations to where we can actually guarantee that in your contract. Now, those types of jobs, yes, you are going to need that extra motivation and everything, but you don't necessarily have to. I mean, knowing the fact that you're going to be jumping out of an airplane, it's going to give you that extra motivation, especially with all the adrenaline junkies and everything like that. So you may not necessarily have the motivation to do it. I would love to jump out of airplanes, but it's one of those things that you may not necessarily have it to begin with, but you'll have it when you're done with it. It's an awesome experience. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and especially, I mean, those special forces guys, they love their jobs. The Rangers, they love their jobs. So you get it in the end. You have that esprit de corps and everything like that to know that you're doing something greater and you're actually a bigger piece of the pie than, like me as a tanker. But you have the extra motivation to go along and do all that extra stuff.
Okay, thank you. Now we're going to cut over to the Marine Corps. Now, we're going to go up with the Marine Corps League, and these are gentlemen that have already served their time, and they served honorably and without cause, meaning that they got through it, and now there's life after the active duty military, and then once they're done, we'll wrap it up, but I'm going to go with them a couple questions. This is Mr. Glenn Myers. He is the Commandant of the Marine Corps League in Quincy, Illinois, and I'll let him start. Introduce yourself, then we'll go to Steve, and then we'll go to the questions.
Again, I'm Glenn Myers. I'm Commandant of the Marine Corps League. We help Marines. Young men come out of the Marine Corps League, We'll get them books when they go to college. We'll pay for their books. We put on dances over at the Veterans Home to help the veterans out. We help them with supplies, wheelchair tires, things the VA doesn't give them. We do fundraisers to raise funds to apply to these kinds of things. And we get a little Semper Fi in the deal, so it's a win-win.
Now tell us a little about, real quick before I go to Steve, tell us a little bit about what you did. These gentlemen over here and these soldiers over here, you know, they're active right now.
Yep.
What did you do when you were in, and tell us about your experience while you were in the Marine Corps?
I worked on F-4B Phantom jets. My MOS was 6236. I worked on avionics and fire control. Basically the radar system that made the F-4B Phantom the formidable weapon that it was at the time. I had a good time in the Marine Corps. I got to join because His Honor gave me the invitation, but that's another story for another day. It was good. You know, they say that the Marine Corps is a cult, and that's true. There's a brotherhood there that doesn't end when you walk out the gate from the final time. And I'm in a position where I can give back to the community and give back to my fellow brother Marines. And I come from a time when veterans getting out of the service weren't treated nearly as well as they are today. A veteran in the Army, the Air Force, the Marine Corps, even the Coast Guard, the Navy, when they got out, they were not treated well by society, and a lot of those guys still haven't come home. And that's part of what we work with and try to help these guys break down those walls they build up in self-defense over all those years.
Now, we usually, a lot of times, we intermingle with other branches sometimes when we do our Christmas parties and do everything else. In other words, it's a brotherhood across the board, no matter who it is. In the Marine Corps League, and I know that if there's not like an Army League or the Legion or whatever else, everybody at the end works together after they're out.
Absolutely. We run a dance over at the Veterans Home every month during the summer. All veterans come, so we get the Army, Navy, the Air Force, and of course our Marines. And we're there for the guys. I mean, everybody signed that check. And when I say that check, everybody that enlisted wrote a check to the people of the United States for an amount up to and including their very lives. And those of us who didn't have to cash that check, I for one am particularly grateful to and be in a position to help those guys that were less fortunate coming.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Well, Steve can expound on that a little bit. He's one of our newer members, and he's
okay.
welcome
Steve,
addition.
introduce yourself.
Okay. So again, I'm Steve Kane, and I'm a relatively new member to the league, like Glenn just said. It is awesome to see this small group starting to grow under his leadership. All I can say right now, I'm still learning the ropes of the league, and it looks interesting. It is neat to be able to serve again in this mode.
Thank you. Gentlemen, thank you all for coming out. If you want to come out and talk more with the Army recruiters, I think the Marine Corps recruiter will be here tomorrow. Come on out. Just look for the Humvee. Now, a lot of you guys join me on my motivational Monday mornings and Friday nights and everything else. Nice thing about with the military is a lot of times we give each other a hard time, we give each other flack. The problem is the military cannot function without each other, okay? So everywhere I've been, I was in 0311, everywhere I've been, I worked with all branches of the service. Doesn't matter who they are. If you ever make fun of the Coast Guard, we do that a lot, but guess what? They guard our ships in other parts of the ocean, okay? Come on out, join everybody out here, come out and say hi, ask questions, send your sons and daughters out. Guess what? The military is open to everybody. And hope everybody has a great day today, and I'll talk to everybody soon.